Just thought I would shoot a quick video for you guys on the topic of preparing for the upcoming snow season. Haven't put out any direct content to the audience in a little bit here, so thought we'd do that. There will be a lot more content coming this season. However, thought this was an important video just to shoot tonight. And so let's get right into it. First of all, obviously, you're going to need to figure out your advertising. So whether you're doing direct mail, I would highly suggest that. No matter what you're doing, direct mail should be a part of it. It's pretty much essential. So whether that's postcards, trifold pamphlets, we have a bit of a secret one that I don't, we're going to kind of keep that for my franchisees. I'm not going to give that one away too easy. But that's probably number one. Make sure you have that figured out. If you don't know anything about advertising, watch some videos on it. I have a fair bit of experience in it, and there's a lot of nuances to it. It's really more of an art than a science. If you need help, let me know. I'd be happy to give you some suggestions. Maybe even send a postcard or some form of mailer that you've created my way, and I'd be happy to check it out for you. But anyway, that's number one. Get your advertising in order. Get your snow stakes ordered, I would say, is number two. That kind of ties into your advertising. Number three, you got to figure out your equipment, obviously. So this one, it really depends on how much money you have to play with. This is going to be the odd case, but if you have a ton of cash from another business, or you just sold a house or something and you've got a bunch of money, buy an extra tractor, and if you don't need it this year, you'll need it next. But that's not most of you. So what I would plan on for the average guy starting out, obviously you're going to need to start with one tractor if you haven't begun yet. But beyond that, look at renting for your second one. We've done that many years where we weren't quite sure if we were going to be on the brink of another machine or not, and so bought one that we're using and then rented for the growth. So that's, I do have some leads on those. So if you're looking for units to rent, particularly if you're in Canada, I can hook you up with that pretty easily. If you're in the States, it's a little bit trickier, but I'm sure I might be able to help you on something. Anyway, if not, figure it out. Go to your local dealer, your local rental companies, line up a rental machine. Even if you don't think you'll need it, it's a really good idea. And if you're in Canada, you probably won't have too much problem getting a blower. If you're in the States, it's a little trickier. The supply is not the greatest. So if you can, buy an extra blower, and if you don't need it this year, you're gonna need it next year. So it really depends on how much cash you have to play with, how comfortable you can be in being set up. Or, you might have to, if you're transitioning from, say, a plow truck, maybe you'll have to run a plow truck and a tractor this year, whatever. So that's point three. Point four, you need your employees, obviously. If you're offering shoveling, you're gonna have to get those guys figured out. Your operators, get those guys lined up, figure out what you're gonna pay them, if you're gonna do guaranteed hours, if you're gonna do salary, if you're gonna, whatever you're gonna do. I would suggest what we do is we do hourly, but they have a minimum. So for us, it's 10 hours a week. No matter what happens throughout the season, the guys are getting paid that. Beyond that, what else is there, guys? You're gonna need your parts, and whatever your relationship is with your local dealer, I would probably be meeting up with them this time of year. I'm doing a fair bit of that, and get some extra parts in your supply chest. Prep your shop, make sure you have all the tools you need in place. Cutting edges are particularly important, so make sure you have some extras for that. What else can I tell you? Honestly, that's pretty much it. We're in a fairly straightforward business. So to recap, your advertising is number one. Sales cures all, as Mark Cuban would say. Whatever problems you're having in your business, sell more. And, with the revenue that comes in, you can hire people to fix those problems. You can buy equipment to fix those problems. A huge mistake I see a lot of guys starting out in business is, they worry about all these petty little issues when you have no sales. You have like 20 driveways. Why are you worried about, the best blower, the best tractor, how to pay your employees? You don't even make enough money for yourself yet. So how are you going to pay an employee? So number one is figure out your sales. Like I said, I can give you some tips and tricks on that. Number two, I don't remember my order here, guys. It might be messed up, but you got to figure out your equipment, and your employees, and I would say, you know, your parts and such. And I mean, a big one too that I failed to touch on was your systems and procedures. So if this is going to be more important if you have a larger company, you know, if it's you running a tractor, you don't have much to worry about here. But one thing we're big on is, you know, who starts the tractors in the morning, you know, who's in charge of the greasing, who's in charge of the maintenance. You got to think this stuff through, guys, and document how you're going to run it, because, you know, if a key employee quits and it's all in their head, it's not very valuable to you. So document your systems, create systems, you know, come up with company policies, whatever. You got to get creative with this stuff. Don't just copy me. A lot of guys do that, or copy other guys, with that being said, don't get me wrong, I've copied a lot of guys too. So there's a bit of a caveat there. You can gain a lot of knowledge from other guys in the industry. But I would suggest, you know, take their ideas and make them your own. That's something that I do a lot of. I mean, most of this stuff, you know, I didn't come up with these ideas. I just took it from other people and you know, tweaked it a little bit to make it my own. But I would say, you know, I've seen some tractors like decals and stuff. They're just a complete copy of my style. I'm not offended. I mean, they say like imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So, I mean, I guess it's thank you for thinking my stuff's cool, but it would be cooler if, you know, you took a little bit of inspiration and then did your own thing instead of just ripping mine off. So yeah, with all that being said, take ideas from other guys, but, you know, tweak them to make them your own. This game is more of a art than a science. At least in my mind. You know, I am a lot more interested in branding and marketing and those side of things. I'm not too much of well, if you run a successful business, you need to know your numbers and you need to have spreadsheets and you need to, you know, have a handle on those things. But I don't really enjoy that part of the business nearly as much as the presentation part. I'm more of an ad man myself. Anyway, I'm kind of on a rant now, guys. Hope this video brought some value to you, and we will see you in the next one.